Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I'll tell you what, you can't make some things up. I'm going to show you something in a few minutes here that will blow your mind. And it's 100% true. I can prove it. Okay. This is from X-Men XRP, at XRP33. And he sent me this. And this is SEC Commissioner asks federal lawmakers to amend regulation for crypto-based ETF. Okay, I'm not interested in the ETF part of this. I'm interested in the other things she said. It says the United States SEC Commissioner, while delivering a speech at the University of Missouri School of Law, cited that blockchain-based decentralized networks don't fit neatly in their securities framework. Hence, it is essential for regulators and policymakers to adjust the existing federal laws so that it can include new technological protocols. In other words, folks, the SEC is literally asking lawmakers to pass things like the Token Taxonomy Act. I mean, they're wanting, like I've told you before, they want this monkey off their back, and that's what I read into this. And this is a quote from Pierce. Many of these crypto projects typically begin in a centralized model similar to that of any other firm. A group of people get together to create something. They need to find investors who can fund their efforts, which is why they sell securities or tokens in ICOs. The SEC implements existing securities regulations to these securities offerings, meaning that they have to be conducted based on securities laws or otherwise under an exemption. Or otherwise under an exemption. That's code. We need the House to pass an exemption so that we can get around it, figure this thing out, get this monkey off our back. Then it says the SEC crackdown on ICOs reportedly resulted in the sacking of a number of scam funds, yet it also impacted genuine companies, and this is the problem, folks. Pierce mentioned one of these companies in her speech. One crypto project, Basis, recently announced that it would halt operations and return its $133 million in capital raised from an ICO to investors because of the difficulty involved in complying with securities regulations, considering their team's vision for the crypto project. In other words, the SEC now realizes that they are getting in the way, and they need the House to pass something that will create an exemption so that they can get this monkey off of their back, and that way they won't be responsible for standing in the way of other countries to proceed forward with digital assets and then the U.S. to lose its advantage. Okay, so that's where this is all going, folks. It's not a coincidence that the House is trying to pass this Token Taxonomy Act. Okay, this is from Sergeant Obi-Wan. Now, this is huge, folks. This is as big gets, okay? Payments giant Western Union preparing for crypto. Tests Ripple XRP. Another huge partner. It's going to be hard to beat XRP cross-border payments. Well, I want to give you another piece of breaking news out of that, and that I'm here to tell you that Western Union, in a roundabout way, actually owns a piece of Ripple now. Okay? And I'm about to show you why I say that. This is the article from the Daily Hodl. Okay? This is an interview with the general manager of Asia Pacific, Molly Shea from Western Union. She says, when you think about cryptocurrencies, if those start to take off, we need to be ready. We need to be ready from a technology perspective, and we've got to be ready from a regulatory has to be there. We constantly have to be looking for those trends where customers are looking and make sure that you're ready to meet those needs and expectations. As some examples, we're piloting some settlement tests with Ripple for certain corridors. I think the US dollar and Mexican peso is one example. And really learning about possible opportunities. The options that we choose will need to be legitimate and widely acceptable for consumer use. Now listen to this, folks. Another thing that we're doing as a part of our exploration is we've made an investment in the Digital Currency Group. It's a fund that provides industry-leading insights into the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. So I think that's really exciting. So it's really about staying knowledgeable and about advances in all technologies and how that might be applicable to what we want to do. I'm going to read this part again, folks. Another thing that we're doing as a part of our exploration is we've made an investment in the Digital Currency Group. Well, you've heard me talk about the Digital Currency Group before. This is their website. Ripple is one of the things in the Digital Currency Group's portfolio. In other words, Digital Currency Group is an investor in Ripple, and now Western Union, because they own part of Digital Currency Group, as they've just said, they are now an investor in Ripple. So tell me how huge that is, folks. Okay, moving along. Take two. This is from Sergeant Obi-Wan. Take two. Ethereum is getting ready for Constantinople hard fork redo. And I'm not going to go into this article other than I'm just going to read what he says because he's right. Forks are bad for business. As said before by many people, mine coins are going to have so many problems. They're a disaster, and everybody knows it. And it's being exposed every time one of these forks happens and any of this stuff happens. It's an exposed problem with proof of work digital assets. Period. Okay, moving along. I don't normally talk about the analysis of charts and those type of things, but I thought this one was interesting enough for me to go over or just talk about briefly. I wanted to read you this. This is from XRP Close, at XRP Close. Dollar cost average XRP and enjoy life. And I want to, he sent this article, and I wanted to just read a little bit of this to you. It says, Ripple XRP is expected to rally hard in the weeks ahead as the price is now ready to break out of the bullish pennant that we see on the 4H chart for XRP USD. Ripple XRP is expected to rally hard in the weeks ahead as the price is now ready to break out of the bullish pennant that we see on the 4H chart for XRP USD. The big players in the game, now listen to this, listen real closely. The big players in the game know exactly what is going on. It is the retail investors that are losing their patience on every other day of consolidation and thinking to themselves if the market is going to fall further. If it were not for if it were not for their own interest, the whales could have moved this market upside down to shake out all the retail investors so they can accumulate their coins dirt cheap before the next rally. However, they know full well that if they spook the horse beyond the point of no return, they might lose it. So they want to instill fear in the market, but to the extent that ensures that their long-term investments are safe. This is why long-term investors should pay no mind to short-term manipulation and remain focused on the big picture. Where have you heard that before, folks? And finally, let me show you something that's going to be a game changer. In less than 2 weeks, Binance will launch its decentralized exchange, Binance DEX, for public testing, says CZ Binance. This guy is going to change the world, folks. Think Napster. Think about how Napster literally changed the world. But this guy is not able to be controlled. This guy is not a U.S. guy. This guy is all over the place. He's setting up exchanges all over the place, and now he's about to launch a decentralized exchange. Once this guy begins to do this kind of thing, this genie, it's already out of the bottle and not going back in, but they won't be able to catch this genie when he does this. Once this is done, the world has changed forever, and the control by all of these central governments and central banks of money is over. This guy is about to change the world. This might be one of the most powerful people in the entire world soon, if he's not already. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that Western Union is now technically an investor in Ripple. Thank you for listening.